Good morning, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, today's topic, serving two masters, the truth. Serving two masters, the truth. O great, supreme, and sovereign Most High Father, as I come before you today to speak to your people about the things that you have placed upon my heart for them to learn from. Father, I thank you for this opportunity to come and speak to your people and speak to your people truthfully and honestly. Yahweh, I ask that you'll send your Holy Spirit to direct my thoughts unto the thoughts of righteousness, only for your name's sake. Let your Holy Spirit put only the things you've placed upon my heart, upon my lips. Let your Holy Spirit warn off all who will try to use demonic and other forces to interfere with my thoughts, to interfere with my mind, to interfere with my memory. Let your Holy Spirit warn off all who will try to use demonic and other forces to try to put words in my mouth that are not in my vocabulary, who will try to cause me to stumble over words I am familiar with. Father, let your Holy Spirit warn off the demonic and the other forces that will be used by the evil, the desperate, and the wicked to try to hamper what I am about to speak here. Most High, lastly, I ask that you send your holy angels to encamp around this place, to set up a hedge of protection around this place, to protect me from harm and danger, even the minor inconveniences that will be used to try to distract me and to throw me off of the message that I am about to speak to your people. Yahweh, I ask these mercies of you, of no one else but of you, for there is no one else who is in existence who is able to provide the protection that you are able to provide. No one who is able to provide for me the way you have been provided for me and the way you will continue to provide for me. Father, bless my thoughts as I speak your words today. In Yahweh, aka Jesus Christ's name, I say, let it be done. My people, this is a very important message, and let us get right into it. Serving two masters, the truth. Let us turn our Bibles to Matthew chapter 6, and we are going to read verse 24. That is Matthew chapter 6, and we are going to read verse 24. It says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon." You cannot serve God and mammon. What the Most High Son Yahweh says here is quite true. It is impossible for anyone to hold the same level of allegiance to two things, because there is no two things and no two persons, no two masters who is the same. One of your masters will appeal to certain qualities that you love, and the other will be a repulse to those same qualities that you love. My people, when the Son of the Most High was speaking here, he was trying to teach his people some other great and vital lesson that they need to learn, especially to get into the kingdom of the Most High, but immediately to free themselves from the Caucasians' rule. Let me lay the groundwork for you as what is happening in this place at this time in history. At this time in history, Israel, the chosen people of the Most High, were slaves. They have gone through a long period of slavery for many hundred years. They have moved from Babylonian slavery to Medo Persia, Assyrian, Grecian, and now they were under Roman slavery. But what is more important about this slavery, especially the Grecian and the Romans slavery, is that they were enslaved by their brothers. Meaning, the Israelites and the Edomites are brothers with different progenitor, but the same mother. And to say the same mother will be kind of misleading, because as we have learned over the period of time, and in interpreting the scriptures and the prophecies, we know that Rebekah was only a surrogate to Esau. My people, it is very important that I go over this for those people who will be seeing this message for the first time and may be left confused. One of the things we have to come to terms with, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, the nation of Israel in today's world are the descendants and the children of the transatlantic slave trade. What does that mean? It means that the forefathers, the immediate and direct forefathers, the blood relative of the children of slaves today is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And another thing we must come to terms with is the Edomites of Bible time, the descendants of Esau, are the Caucasians of today. How we come about this? We look at Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. When Esau was born, his father lent a description to Esau that perfectly detailed a Caucasian of today's world. When we go to the Caucasians publication, when we go to encyclopedia.com, when we go to the Encyclopedia Britannica or the Britannica Online, it says that King Herod, the Roman king who ruled over Israel when Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ, was alive, was an Edomite. You know, Herod was full-blooded Roman. We go to another publication of the Caucasians, this time the Jewish people. In their publication Chabad, or the online version, which is chabad.org, in discussing 14 facts you must know about Esau, it clearly states that Esau is the progenitor of the Romans. And we know that Rome is just a city in Italy. And if Esau is the progenitor of the Romans, that means Esau is the progenitor of all Italians. My people, when you consider that Esau, the description that was given of Esau in Genesis chapter 25, verse 25, looks like every Caucasian you have ever seen and will ever see. And since Chabad.org identified the Jew Magdiel as being the progenitor of the Romans or the Italians, and since Esau had 11 Jukes, it means that the other 10 Jukes were responsible for colonizing all of Europe. So what was interesting about this, the colonization of Israel, or the conquest of Israel by the Caucasus community, is the Most High said in Malachi chapter 1, verse 2 to 4, that he loved Jacob and he will hate Esau. And he declared that he will hate the Edomites forever. So here we see the children of the Most High had been conquered by the people who the Most High declared he hates. And we know that everything the Most High hates, his children or his chosen people should hate also. So what was very disturbing about this thing is that Israel have now been made to submit to the people who the Most High have declared that he will hate forever. The children of the chosen of the Most High have to submit to the Most High face his enemies. And that is what make the conquest of Israel at this period of time of Earth's history really troubling to the Son of the Most High, Yahweh, aka Jesus Christ. Now, what we must consider here, by the time Jesus would have been uttering these words, Israel would have been under Caucasian rules for 366 years or thereabout. But because remember, Greece conquered Israel or Jerusalem in 335 BC. The Romans then went and they conquered Israel in BC 60. So that make it roughly about 366 years since Israel have been under Caucasian rulership. My people, in Mark chapter 13 verse 2, Yahweh aka Jesus Christ said, when he was shown the buildings that the Israelites were so proud of, he says to them, you see these buildings? There shall be not one left, not one be left. There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So what the Most High Son was doing, he was prophesying of something that was supposed to happen in the future. The destruction of the temple that the Israelites were so proud of. And what the Most High Son was trying to do here, he was trying to teach the Israelites that if you don't come back to the Father and free yourself from the Caucasian rule, you are going to lose the things that is most dearest to you. Your precious temple will be destroyed. The scriptures that the Most High have given you for your daily use will be taken away from you and you will not see it anymore. And the temple and the ornaments of the temple will be taken away and you will never see them in your lifetime again. Every time that Yahweh opened his mouth, he was teaching his people how to free themselves from the rulership of the Caucasians. So when he says, you cannot have two masters, because you will love one and you will hate the other. You will hold fast to one and you will hold fast to the other. My people, Yahweh knew what he was speaking about. Because there was split allegiance in Israel. Meaning that the leaders in the temple, they serve God, but they show affection and allegiance to those people who the Most High says he hates and he will hate forever. He was trying to tell them, listen to me, you cannot serve God and serve the Romans. You cannot serve the Most High and serve the Romans, because the Most High have declared that he will hate the Edomites and he will hate the Edomites forever, and the Romans are Edomites. How can you serve the God who loves you and still hold fast to those people who the Most High have declared that he will hate and he will hate forever? You have to remember, Yahweh came not only to teach us how we must live, but to help us to do two very important things that will facilitate his return as the triumphant prince that will rule over earth forever. The first thing he wanted to teach us was how to free ourselves from the hands and the bondage of our enemies. My people, for 2,357 years, we, the Israelites of the Bible, the direct descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have been under Caucasian rule. For 2,357 years, my people, Yahweh have been trying to teach us how to free ourselves from this rule, because if we are never free from Caucasians' rule, then he will never be able to come back and redeem us as his own. Why? Because he hates the Edomites, and he will hate the Edomites forever. And as long as the Edomites rules over us, they will ensure that we are never faithful, and the coronation of our ruler, of our King Yahawashah, will never come into effect. We have to prepare for his coronation. Don't forget, as we have learned, that the Edomites are the descendants of Lucifer, the direct descendants of Lucifer. They are devils. They were placed into Rebekah's womb to abort the plans of the Most High, to ensure the Most High was not able to have a Messiah born in the same manner he have foretold it in the scriptures. Remember, it was the dragon that gave the beast. It was the dragon, Lucifer, the devil, that gave the beast, the Caucasus community, his seat, his power, and his great authority. So what Yahawashah was saying here to his people, the Israelites, the Most High said in Malachi chapter 1, verse 2 to 4, that Esau he will hate, and he will hate his descendants forever. But Jacob he loved, and he will love Jacob's descendants forever. He even says in Amos that the Israelites is the apple of his eyes, and he that touches Israel touches the apple of his eyes. My people, Matthew chapter 6 verse 24 was Yahawashah trying to get us to come to terms with the reality that we are still confronted to it today. We are still under Caucasians' slavery, even 2,357 years after it first started. Yahawashah was trying to teach us how to free ourselves, and the only how we can free ourselves is coming back to the Most High, wholly and solely, unconditionally, be faithful to the Most High. And when we as a nation of people are faithful to the Most High is going to ensure that our freedom comes at our hand using his mighty and awesome power. And that is what Yahawashah came to do, to teach us how to free ourselves from the bondage of those people, of the devils who the Most High declared he hates. But we have been stiff-necked, and for centuries after centuries, we have watched our children and our grandchildren go into slavery. We have watched our children and our grandchildren be abused by the devils. But we have never taken any meaningful action to ensure that it does not happen to the next generation, because this generation is following in the same footsteps of our fathers of old. We are laying the groundwork to ensure that the enslavement of the Israelite community goes on for another 100 years. Because when we should be the enemies of the Caucasians, we are trying to be their friends and trying to gain their favor. We cannot try to gain the favor of the devils, because that has been the downfall of our people, and it's a shame when our leaders who should know better go out of their way to force a relationship with the devils and give our people the impression that it is okay for us to trust the devils. The devils are not worthy of our trust. The Caucasians are not worthy of our trust. The Caucasians are not worthy of our friendship. The Caucasians are the seeds of Lucifer, and it is their only desire to do the will of their father, the devil. And the will of their father, the devil, is to destroy everything that came from the Most High hands. Everything the Most High created, everything the Most High love, everything the Most High cherish, everything the Most High honor, everything the Most High adore, it is their desire to destroy it. If they are able to destroy Mother Nature herself, they will destroy Mother Nature, and they will not show any remorse for their destruction of Mother Nature. My people, that is why my stand today, I don't want a Caucasian friend. I don't want their friendship. I don't want their woman. I don't want their money. I don't want their fame. There is nothing that the Caucasians has that I want and will go in pursuit of. My people, it is time that our leaders come to the realization that friends with the Caucasians and friends with God is totally impossible. Because if we are keeping friends with the Caucasians, then we automatically become the enemy of the Most High. Remember, the friend of my enemies is my enemies. My people, we have to come to terms with the reality. We have to come to terms with our reality. And we have to do something to ensure that the next generation does not suffer in the way our parents suffer, and in the same way we are suffering today. My people, the Caucasians, has already begun re-enslaving Israelites into a slavery that we will never be free from once we become slaves to them. That's why they have been incarcerating black men and women and throw them in prison for lengthy prison sentences. That is why they have been propagating abortion to the black woman, and that is why they have been inducing our black men into homosexuality and make it forbidden for anyone to speak bad about homosexuality, when the Most High said in Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13, if a man will lie with a man, it's an abomination, they must be put to death, and their bloods shall be on their own hands. My people, they are trying all in their power to ensure that we, the Israelites, becomes a part of their new slavery. They want the Arabs to become a part of the new slavery because they want to take all of the Arab resources, all of their oils and all of their money for free. They want to ensure that all of the African in Africa become slaves in this new slavery because they want to go to Africa and take the African resources for free. My people, the European government seized billions, hundreds of billions of dollars that belong to Libya. They seize it. They freeze them in the banks. And now, all of the Libyan money has disappeared, cannot be accounted for in the banks of the Caucasians. My people, you have to be careful. The Most High says, Malachi chapter 1, verse 2 to 4, wasn't Jacob Esau's brother? Yet I love Jacob and I hate Esau. The Most High declared, the creator of heaven and earth, the God who is perfect in love, declared, I will hate the descendants of Esau forever. How can you, a God who was created by the God of gods, the one who the Most High declares that he will love forever under all circumstances, that you will always be his people and we will always be our God, how can we find allegiance and friendship with the people who the Most High hates? It's an embarrassment to the Most High for you to do such a thing. You are telling the Most High that his enemies is valued more than him. That friendship with his enemies is valued more than the salvation he has sent his son to prepare for us. My people, we have to behave like people that is endowed with common sense and is endowed with the ability to think for ourselves and start thinking for ourselves and honor the Most High and follow His words. O great supreme and supreme Most High. I thank you for this opportunity once again to come to your people and to speak to your people. Father, you are an awesome God. Let your Holy Spirit go through my words. Let your Holy Spirit lend clarity where I would have lent confusion. In Yahushua's name I say, let it be done. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. I'm gone.